Thanks to the support as a channel member, Glenn Liddell. No, don't get me wrong. I do appreciate the fact you gave us all that extra money to spend in the summer. No, I know I hardly spent any of it. That doesn't mean I didn't want it. I will spend it. Just, I'm trying to be sensible for once. And if we're talking about sensible, why did you build such a small ground? Yeah, but it's not just me making questionable decisions at the moment. Hello and welcome to part 100 of Homegrown. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have our first two games of the new Premier League season. We're away against Burnley and at home against Manchester United. This is what, season 13, 14? The easy way to tell what season number it is how many seasons has Harrison Davies played. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is season 13 of the save. Harrison Davies is still a starting member of the team on merit. What a time to be alive. If you missed yesterday's transfer window, you missed us bringing in loads of young Brazilians. A lot of them are on. There's a few. In fact, none of them are on there. Oh, there are a few of them on there. A few more of them on here. And then the odd youngster here and there as well. I actually think I forgot to show you Ricky Hughes on yesterday's transfer special. Don't worry about the fact that he's 19. He was 18 when we signed, turned 19 on the 27th of July. We signed him on the 14th of July. Don't panic. And he's a left winger / attacking midfielder, young English from Reading. I think I forgot to show him in the transfer window. And so there's a very good chance lots of you said, Kev, who's that guy? In the comments when you saw him when I was talking through the players on their way out. There you go. That was Ricky Hughes. But this isn't about Ricky Hughes today. This is about trying to get some points on the board at the start of this Premier League season. And this is the team we're putting out there for the Burnley game. We need to keep an eye on Harrison Davies, who's not fully fit for the game, but how do you not start him, even if he's only half fit? And we're going with Williams in goal, a back four of McCartan, Davies, new boys, Fazekas and Peresato as centre-back and wing-back. You can see Fazekas, we're actually graduating to a ball-playing defender now, because that's what he's good at. He's actually a natural libero. So if we ever do decide to go three at the back, we've got a libero, boys and girls. We're never going to do three at the back. Ali Bassick and Hodgkinson in midfield. Ali Bassick is finally a natural central midfielder as well, so I expect to see him featuring there a little more this season. And then attacking midfield three of Richardson, Roberts and Sebastião supporting Costabile up front. Let's get into this game. I would say the most notable headlines on this, the fact that Renan is not even on the bench. He's that far down the pecking order currently. Obviously, he'll have time to force his way back through, but we've talked before in the comment section about how injury-prone Renan is, and it's a struggle to rely on him, and we might be reaching that point where we don't have to rely on him anymore. But the other real headline, I think, is for the first time in the 11 or 12 years that we've had him, I think this is the first time Nathan Curry's been fit and not selected for a game. So he starts from the bench because we have Peresato as our new first choice right back, which is where Curry's been playing for the last 3 or 4 years. I don't think there's a space for Nathan Curry in a Premier League central midfield either, with Ali Bassick and Hodgkinson both in there. So at the moment, Nathan Curry is a very talented, very experienced bench warmer. And I can already hear the comment section telling me I shouldn't have spent so much money on him last year. I disagree. I still think his experience is crucial. Fazekas has picked up an injury, which is a long way from ideal when Harrison Davies is already not fully fit. Do we even have a centre-back on the bench? It's telling me to bring on Gillespie, who can play centre-back. He's our new backup right-back, but we've got him and we've got Francis on the bench. We didn't really need Gillespie. And see, this is where Curry can cover so many positions. We need to get a little bit smart with the bench. I might even have to start picking it myself. Oh, what a horrible thought. Right, Sebastião's picked up the ball on this right-hand side. A lot expected of him. If he's going to be replacing Renan in this team, he needs to justify why that's happening. Gets the crossover there, but can't find Costabile. And now Burnley have got a counter-attack just on the stroke of half-time. They've got him behind our two weary defenders there, and they have gone 1-0 up. This is what happens when both of your defenders are carrying a knock. And we're going to have to bring on our youngster at half-time. This is not how I wanted Gillespie to make his Premier League debut, coming on slightly out of position when we're already a goal down and he's got to play an entire half of football. But we we looked like we were struggling at the back there with the injuries that we've got. So let's have a look at the situation. We've got Fazekas on debut, but with a potential foot injury, wants to stay on. The injury is affecting him. I think it directly affected that goal going in. Sam Gillespie can play centre-back. He is 6'2". He wasn't supposed to be in the team this early on arriving, but he is going to come on and play at centre-back, but not as a ball playing centre-back. That would be madness, but he can come on to play alongside Harrison Davies. There's no one you'd rather have alongside a youngster like that making their debut than Harrison Davies. Hopefully he can nurse him through debut day in these difficult circumstances. And Ali Basic has picked up the ball on the edge of the area, playing it across to Peresato. Sebastião now, and there is a first goal of the season for Anderson Sebastião. Two of the new-ish boys combining. Peresato picking up the assist on his debut, and Sebastião, who came in back in January, but then spent a little bit of this. He spent the second half of last season in and out of the side, picked up an injury himself, was really competing with Renan for that spot on the right-hand side. It's one of the reasons why we let Onyango leave on loan, because with Sebastião and Renan, the days of Onyango getting anywhere near this team are probably over. And now Costabile's picked up a knock, and it's going to be another forced debut. Luquinas, who's our 18-year-old Brazilian under-19 international, who could be the next Ronaldo. Here's an opportunity for him to come on and show us that. He wants to be a false nine. He's not going to be a false nine in this team. He can come on and be an advanced forward. The big question mark we've got over Luquinas is that he's only got 8 for his finishing attribute. And I think original Ronaldo probably had slightly more than 8 for finishing. So Luquinas, in my mind, is going to be someone who can play on either wing for us, similar to Renan, similar to Sebastião. But he's got a chance today to show me that we should be taking him seriously as an option as a striker. It's Richardson on the left-hand side. Richardson playing it to McCartan. McCartan has got a point to prove to stay in this team this year with the young Italian left-back, whose name I can't remember, coming in this summer. Connor Roberts has done really well here, though, to silence the Connor Roberts hate club. It's a beautiful piece of football from Roberts. Slots the ball through to Luquinas, and he's scored on his debut, and it's a turnaround here. Burnley 1, Holme 2, and I don't care what you say, comment section. That is lovely football from Connor Roberts. Brings the ball down, taking one man out of the play, beats another man, slots it through to Luquinas. It's Burnley 1, Holme 2. Well done, Connor Roberts, and I'm going to celebrate by taking him off, because this was the one pre-planned substitution I had. I want to get Christian on, and I want to see what Christian can do playing in behind the striker there. And we've got a very Brazilian look to our front four now, and Richardson, the only one in there who's not Brazilian, and none of those Brazilians are Renan, who's of course Northern Irish. Christian now. First chance to have a look at him. When we first scouted him, he was being described as the next Ronaldinho. He's lost that tag, but we've potentially got a Ronaldo-Ronaldinho combination up front here, and I am on board with that. McCartan slotting it into Luquinas again, and he's scored a second goal on his debut. He came on 12 minutes ago, and he's already scored 2 goals. Forget finishing. Finishing is overrated. Maybe we have a new hero, and his name is Luquinas. Ali Basic playing it out to McCartan, and McCartan, and a beautiful finish from Luquinas. 8 finishing my eye. He's had 2 chances, scored 2 goals. It's 3-1 now to Holme, and the new Brazilian signings look like they're slotting straight into this team. Here's one of them now. Christian playing the ball over the top, trying to get Luquinas in again for a 16-minute hat-trick on his debut. But they couldn't quite release him that time. And it's with Hodgkinson, who does play the ball over the top to Luquinas. And there is the hat-trick. Is that offside? It might be offside. But my word, does this young striker look like a threat. I've been a big Costabile fan since he arrived. 3 seasons ago now, Costabile? I don't know if I said it in the intro to this match. I was certainly thinking it. Costabile is starting this season as my nailed-on first-choice starting striker for the first time ever. And then in the first game of the season, this happens. Costabile picks up a knock. A young Brazilian comes on and has a match-winning performance in half an hour, and all of a sudden, everything's turned on its head again. And Sebastião plays it forward to Luquinas. There is his hat-trick. Oh, my word, we have a new star. We have a couple of new stars, but there's one who's shining just a smidgen brighter than all of the others off the back of this debut. My goodness me. Ali Basic with a lovely ball there as well. Let's not ignore that happened, but it's a lovely ball over the top from Sebastião and a beautiful finish from Luquinas for his debut second half hat-trick. He has played 30 minutes of football for Holme and scored 3 goals. Doesn't even speak English yet. We've got a player on our hands there, boys and girls. Maybe, just maybe, he will be the new Ronaldo after all. I've just noticed there, Brazil's under-19 captain, Luquinas, clearly finishing, not the be-all and end-all when it comes to being an effective advanced forward. I'm happy with that. I had about an hour between these 2 matches. I went and had my dinner. It is relevant because during that time, I talked myself into making an offer for this guy, Enoch Aboyagi. We're going to have to learn how to say his name. The guy I said wasn't worth throwing money at before. It helped that there's other big clubs now in for him. He seems to be the most sought-after young English player out there. He's already would be the best centre-back we've got at the club. He's another one. He's a natural libero, which can we do a double libero system? Really, I like the idea of having ball-playing defenders and actually sort of graduating to having Premier League quality defenders. He's only 5'11", but at 18, you never know. He might continue to grow. He's not going to continue to grow, is he? But he can play right back, left back, defensive midfielder as well. Plenty of potential there. The only problem is, they want a deal worth up to £30 million for him, which would be comfortably the most expensive transfer in the history of the club. But you pay that premium for young English talent. He's the best player at QPR. He's their captain. He's been playing regularly for them since he was 16 years old. He's probably worth it because of the sort of English player tax. But we're not going to worry about that for today. What we're worrying about right now is the Manchester United game. And thankfully, the injuries that we picked up in that game are not so serious that the players involved can't play today. So Fazekas is straight back into the team. He never left the team. He got substituted. Costabile's fit as well. But after what Luquinas did after coming off the bench in that last game, I think he's earned his first start for the club. Christian comes in midfield to get his first start for the club as well. Nathan Curry, Renan, Connor Roberts, Ola Richards, Costabile, Cardona, Jack Green. We have a very strong bench now. If you look at the players who can't even get on the bench today, Joe Barr, Akani, Lay, Francis, Collier. These are players who were regular players for us, even this time last year. This club is going places, boys and girls, and we've got 2 of our new Brazilians starting today against Manchester United. And I guess this is where we're going to learn a lot about how good these boys are. And of course, this is the first game at the new home of football as well. So I would think it would be a sellout, although looking at that aerial view down there, it looks like there's a lot of empty seats. In fact, there is a lot of empty seats here. I don't quite understand where everybody is. Man United have gone 1-0 up after a minute as well. We've got a 13,000 capacity. The inbox message I got beforehand is that we'd sold 12,500 tickets. So I can only assume this is a graphics engine error and the ground is actually packed. But for whatever reason, we're not seeing it. It looks like no home fans have turned up. And because of that, we've gone 1-0 down because we feel like we're all alone. Where is everybody? This is unacceptable. Right, United now coming down this right-hand side, trying to add to their early lead. I'm just shell-shocked at the distinct lack of people here. And it's throwing us all off our game completely. Maybe today wasn't the day to bring in all these young Brazilians for first starts. I'm not going to blame it on them, but we've got a lot of... I know we're doing a homegrown challenge, but we've got a lot of very, very young players on the pitch today. Parasato, Fazekas, Sebastião, Christian, Richardson, Luquinas, all 18, 19 years old. The only players we've got on the pitch in their 20s are Williams, Davies and Hodgkinson, I think. Ali Basic might be 21 now. Everyone else is teenagers, and Manchester United are the best team in the country, or one of, and they're 2-0 up after 12 minutes. And this is a nice reminder for us after what's just happened against Burnley that we still are relegation favourites. We only finished 15th last year. Second season syndrome is a thing. and maybe these new players weren't as good as we thought they were. I mean, what we've got to remember as well is we were never, even now, I mean, we're only the second season into the Premier League. We're not expecting to get any points out of Manchester United all year long. That is fine. What is not fine is getting absolutely battered by them like this. 3-0 down before half-time at home. We just haven't looked like we've turned up at all. And I think we are probably lacking that bit of experience in the team today that Nathan Curry would give us, that Connor Roberts would give us. I know you lot don't like Connor Roberts, but he's played 200 games for the club, and that does count for something. When you look at total number of games played, there's probably maybe 800 or 900 games between Williams, Hodgkinson, Ali Bassick and Davies, and then maybe another 12 or 15 between everybody else. I don't know how many games for the club you would expect to have normally in a starting 11. I imagine the fact that we've got Hodgkinson and Davies there skews it towards it actually looking like quite an experienced side on average games per player. But that's not how these things work. We've got a lot of very experienced players in the team. Inexperienced, that's what I'm trying to say. Let's drop them some encouragement. Poor old Christian, Luquinas, Sebastião, even Richardson, Ali Bassick. No one's had a good game today, but that front four really hasn't stood a hope. Let's make some changes. McCartan's had a miserable afternoon, but we don't have a left back on the bench. Fazekas can play left back apparently, but I don't think that's a particularly wise thing to do. What we will do is bring on Nathan Curry for McCartan, and Parisato can go to left back. We're going to take off Luquinas to protect him. You know what? We're going experience. We're going to bring on Renan, and we're going to bring on Connor Roberts for Christian, and we're just getting too little too late, but there's probably 600 or 700 games for the club that have just come off the bench there to add a little bit more experience to the team. And all of a sudden, Alex Williams makes a save. We're going to put it all down to experience, and Marcus Rashford scored. I thought it was disallowed, but no, it's an own goal for Fazekas. I mean, he was my great new hope in the defence for this team. And in his first 2 games, he's got injured and not made it to the end of the game, and now he's scored an own goal. I still think long term he's going to be a very good signing for us and a very good player. But oh, talk about coming back down to home with a bump, back down to earth, not back down to home. We're called home. Oh, this is. I shouldn't have stopped for dinner. I'm now questioning everything. Maybe I don't want that defender after all. But we just conceded 4 goals at home. Maybe we need a defender. We're playing Manchester City away next. It doesn't rain, it pours. Oh, my word. Right. Well, we'll be back tomorrow, as ever. Half a dozen or so games in the future. And hopefully, feet back on the ground, hopefully, we'll be above the Kev ratio. If we're 8 games in by the next episode, we want 8 points on the board. We've got 3 at the moment, so we've got to get 5 points for our next 6 games. We're getting nothing out of Manchester City or Arsenal. That's interesting. We play QPR in the Cup soon. We get to see that defender one way or the other. But no points out of those 2. West Ham's going to be tough. Tottenham's going to be tough. But we could potentially pick up some points, maybe against Brighton, maybe against Newcastle. It's a tough start to the season. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.